terry-dwayne-ashford, SNnews News Radio. Thank you so much for coming in with Indacarseat, DatGuY, StreetNOW News, your Jake, Terry-Dwayne-Ashford.
Saturday morning, May 8th. It's terry-dwayne-ashford here. And we're coming back from watching that video. Naomi Campbell, been reminded of the home in Kenya, owned by Naomi Campbell, and similarities between Naomi's vibe and Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, and also the impression that she has probably on you guys. And we've talked about Naomi and my very first dog, whose name was Naomi Campbell, which was really not my very first dog. My very first dog was a black chow chow who was too tough for me to handle. I'll tell you what that dog's name was. Are you ready for that? I just want to share it with you. We're not going to talk a lot about it. But my very, very first dog in Atlanta, Georgia was a black chow chow. What was amazing about it is I liked the size. I loved everything about the dog. The name was unique. I actually researched the name before I even named her. I had the dog for about a week before I could think of what the name was. The name has some very significant meaning, just like Terry. Terry is Terry in German. My name in German is Terry. Thierry. So we wanted to share that with you. What our experiences this morning. I also want to share with you the name now of my dog. My first dog named Mundabi. Mundabi was my very first dog. Where in the heck did you got a name like that from? I did my research. When I gave the dog's name Mundabi, it was a creative name. I had to think of how to spell it too. Mundabi. Yeah. And but I didn't want to give the first dog a first name or one only name, like a first name by itself. You can have a first name by itself. You have to have a middle name. So Mundabi's real name was Xavius Mundabi. Xavius Mundabi. When I moved to Washington, D.C., there was a person named Xavier. He called himself Xavier. And then it all to do with it, but I found it interesting too, that the similarities. But my first dog's name was Xavius Mundabi. And right there at Ralph Miguel Boulevard in Atlanta, Georgia is where I was living. Downtown Atlanta, Georgia. And found that Mundabi was a little bit too big for me to handle, and I had to switch to a smaller dog, and that's when I switched to the Min Pin. I liked the Doberman Pinscher, but he was too big for me at the time, I felt. But I wanted the style, the walk, and the class. The class of a Doberman Pinscher who could handle himself extremely well. So I ended up getting Naomi, a miniature pinscher, only to find that they weren't any kin at all. This programming is produced by Terry-Dwayne-Ashford. The voice you're hearing right now is that of Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, managed by Indacarseat, DatGuY Productions and Management Company under the direction of Terry-Dwayne-Ashford. The photograph that you are seeing is the face of Terry-Dwayne-Ashford on the cover, taken in an uneditable photograph. taken at 7:41 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Washington, D.C. Reporting, directing, managing, and producing this particular programming. SNnews this Saturday morning is none other than In the Car Seat, that guy, terry-dwayne-ashford, no one else. Our discussion right now, we want to talk a little bit about Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, In the Car Seat, that guy, comparison to transvestism. Well, we want to share with you my beliefs on that. I want to make sure that you understand I love all people, trannies included. I've always enjoyed watching the strength and the power of the transvestism community. I've always saw that, but I also have felt a little dismayed by the way they were treated in many cases. So, but at the same time, I also understood when I saw the beauty and the grace and the different and the unique style of beauty they offered anybody in their eyesight. And when I saw that, I understood that there are some people that are going to be unintelligent. I did make that word up, I think. I don't even think there's such a word, but I made it up. Unintelligent. There are people that are unintelligent. And that is what I consider those people were many times, who didn't treat everybody alike, who targeted the transvestism community. Maybe my openness, my openness, just like Naomi Campbell, maybe my openness is what caused those very same unintelligent people to connect Terry-Dwayne-Ashford in the car seat, that guy, with transvestism. I don't know. Let me tell you, if you're asking me, I'll tell you, I don't care either. Terry-Dwayne-Ashford is a bona fide man born with male genitals. Yes, we're a bit nice this morning when we talk about those things. Born with male genitals, yeah. And I'm going to tell you one of the things that I have found that's quite different between Terry-Dwayne-Ashford and those in the transvestism community, which I don't have any qualms against. It is what it is. People are individuals for a reason. Terry-Dwayne-Ashford honors his male genitals. He honors his men. From an intellectual standpoint, what I have seen in my observations, in order to, I'm not sure why, or if it's in order to live life, it's just a choice. It is what it is. It's a beautiful thing. That many times, what converts the male-born person into transvestism and those types of things is sometimes they don't have as much of an mental embracement of their manhood, who they are. And so they prefer to go toward the other way, and I'm totally okay with that. I totally understand that. But Terry-Dwayne-Ashford, with the similar personalities that you might think he has with transvestism, Terry-Dwayne-Ashford adores his manhood. He adores his manhood. the fact that he was born as a male species on this earth. So from that, it kind of dismayed him a little bit that there's such a comparison to terry-dwayne-ashford and transvestism. Terry-dwayne-ashford is clearly right before your eyes a man. What a man. We should only to just make you understand that. We might have we may get a little confused in our personalities, whatever the case may be, but terry-dwayne-ashford. And he uses his manhood the way men use it. You do. Terry-dwayne-ashford here. Thank you so much for your listening here. I want to say thank you, too, for just being here. Because it's hard to get this part out. It's very difficult. I have to think of how to say it. When I watched Naomi this morning, I had to, and then they showed a clip forward after the show, Naomi and Tara. I thought about playing a little game with myself. Why don't you look at both of them together? And why don't you pick out which one is the original one and which one was probably created from the original one? I love Tara Banks to death. Tara Banks to me, I've not even put the two together. But what I've seen is when you have an original, you also have a creation of an original. I'm not saying Tara is a creation of Naomi. I'm not saying that Mariah is a creation of Whitney. But I can tell you that what I've seen is whenever you have an original one, then you're going to have some mockers and mimickers and thieves who's trying to steal to create a new one in their version. So I played a little game of which one was the original and which one may have been a follower. And you can look at it. Sometimes you can tell in the catwalk, you can tell in the confidence, you can tell in the authenticity of it all. I'm terry-dwayne-ashford. I'll be right on back with you in a few short moments. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna give you about a few seconds here of music by itself. Clear your ears of my voice. I'm talking too much. And then we'll be right on back. But I can tell you as I come right back to you, as I said here, did he give you the number of seconds that I probably promised, but we need to move on in this programming. Yeah. The authenticity, the realness. I call it, in the catwalk world, out there in the real world, in the streets, they call it real. Being real, being the realness. The realness is what professionally Indacarseat, DatGuY, StreetNOW News, SNnews, News Radio, all for you, calls authenticity. When you was born with it. Yeah, it's when you was born with it. See, you can be born with it, or you can create it. You can be born with it, or you can create it. And I just wanted to share with you that Indacarseat, DatGuY, terry-dwayne-ashford. It's an authenticity. One that creates these things, does what he do, and then goes back and he listens. He said, oh my gosh, I know I didn't say that. Come to find out, remembering, yeah, he did. Well, I said it. I said it because I meant to say it, and because it needed to have to say it. That's just simply how it is. We're going to close out with that. StreetNOW News on terry-dwayne-ashford.